Hi, welcome back to the Sugar Cubes podcast. This is episode 5.
So
I'm
we got
Dan.
new microphones. Well, you guys got new microphones.
Jesus. Deja vu that you guys will never know about.
I'm Dan. That's Dan. That's Yvonne.
Yeah.
As I point around the room. That's Maddie, my dog on the floor.
The thing that you guys cannot see.
They could hear last episode scratching at the door, but now they can't because...
So Team Fat over there, who's talking right now.
Yeah, what up, dog?
His name is Dan.
Yeah,
My
I'm
name
Dan.
is Dan.
My name's Team Skinny.
Juxtaposition. It's funny because he's pudgy. Knocking in at $2 and a little bit of change, 9 cents. I don't know, something like that.
Hey, Jesus. That's
By the
not
way, Dan,
nice.
are we going to the gym tomorrow morning?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Sweet.
You remember how I did? Oh no, I guess I didn't. You weren't really keeping track of me when I was there. I was doing legs.
You were running. I saw you were running.
Well, I was
because
running,
I do.
and then I did my legs. I did
Okay.
like calves and
Nice.
a couple leg presses and some
Nice.
stuff.
Yeah, I
For the next 2 days.
I do high intensity interval training in between sets, and
My
I'd get on the
legs.
Stairmaster, and then you'd see you running and be like, "Hey, it's Dan Lewis."
My legs
trying to leave
were
me.
absolutely killing me the past 2 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Partially, well, no, not because I couldn't handle a little workout, but because I haven't worked out in like 3 years,
Right.
2 years, probably better number. But
Do you do a lot of walking at your job? I know you're just kind of like an accountant.
at accountant,
Assistant.
well, not a lot of like walking that would like be deemed as exercise, but I definitely I get up from my desk and I
Yeah.
walk across the office to go like grab something off the printer and refill. I try to find excuses to stand up and move around every however long, just to
Right,
kinda
right.
keep myself sane as well as not just sitting there
Sedentary.
killing myself. Yeah.
Yeah, because working at GameStop, oh my god, that would suck. I'd do legs, and the next day I'd be like,
Yeah.
8.5 hours on my feet. How's that gonna go? Swell.
Although you know what, working at Broncos wasn't that
you'd-
much different.
You'd
so.
pull like what, 10-hour days, 11-hour days?
Yeah, well, sometimes
11-hour
days was
Yeah,
usually,
when we were first becoming friends, you'd be pulling 11-hour days,
yeah.
like routinely every Saturday,
Yeah.
9 to 8.
Well, when we were first becoming friends, we were friends for a while before that.
How long have we been friends for?
We've been friends for like,
5 years?
jeez, yeah,
Crap.
5 or 6 now.
Our anniversaries.
Five.
Anniversaries in the
Sometime in the summer.
yeah, sometime in the summer. I don't know, whenever baseball's
want,
May-ish.
Oh,
Maddie, what do you want?
So we gotta.
Silly dog.
So yeah, Dan and I met through baseball, through mutual hatred of one of the kids on our team. He gave me a gift the other day.
What?
He gave me the gift. I
Oh,
took a picture
yeah.
of myself on his semi-professional
DSLR. My
yeah.
T3i.
his Nikon. Is it Nikon or is it
Canon.
Canon T3i.
God, I wouldn't be caught using a Nikon.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
What a bunch of
Nikon's
chodes.
a Canon, Whatever.
see what any of this means.
It's just Canon is one brand of camera.
I
and
understand the
right.
difference.
And
between
don't worry about it.
People, it's very similar to. I will equate it to the PS4 and Xbox One, and I guess the previous generations. Just that fanboyism. People fight about it quite a bit. Like Nikon, it's so much better, and Canon, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Whatever you're used to. I mean, they do virtually the same thing. So it's one of those, whatever you're used to. Like, I like the Canon interface better, which is why I use it. That's about it.
Right, and I just don't like anybody that works at Microsoft, so. Kidding. If you guys want to sponsor us. Sponsor a podcast like
I
20
have
viewers.
a Surface. Microsoft is amazing. I am a Microsoft fanboy now ever since I got that thing.
I am a Microsoft enthusiast since I have Windows 7 on my computer that I built.
Windows 8 is so much better.
Because I got it for free.
Yep.
My buddy has a universal serial key. Anyway,
You shouldn't be selling. What if we use that illegally?
we didn't
You
know.
used it. What if you used that illegally, Dan?
Yeah, who's this
You
we?
can't be-
What do
yeah.
you mean, you people? No, it was completely within my rights. I don't know.
Baloney.
Anyway, so yeah, we had a mutual hatred for this kid on our baseball team. He was a horrendously obnoxious kid.
He was a horrendous person.
Yeah, didn't
He turned
he
into
did
like
drugs a lot.
yeah.
Anyways, and
He turned into a not a great person.
you wouldn't want you wouldn't want your children.
You know how
wouldn't want
he
your
wasn't a
worst
good
enemies'
person? He was like,
children.
Okay, I'm
Following
holding
him.
my hand right about shin level. That's where not a good person status is.
Yeah.
You know how you usually
about
over time
38
you
inches
learn
off the
and
ground.
you kind of the line goes up and you increase steadily.
The slope
I think
increases.
I'm pretty sure he dropped down to about
Degraded as a person.
right about belly button level.
He lost his humanity.
Yep, he went from chin level to belly button level in terms of.
Nobody has told anybody yet. Nobody's told any of the listeners yet that you actually wear your pants by your knees. So belly button level.
Belly button level. What's belly button level? Still belly button level, damn.
Well, I know, but when I look at a man walking down the street with a shirt down to his knees, I'm just like, oh, where's his belly button? Oh, Jesus Christ, where is this?
That's the first thing I see.
That's the first thing I think about when I
a guy
see a
with a pants
gangsta.
around his knees. Not, hey, pull your pants up, quit.
But yeah, so we
flashing
hated
me.
this. We hated this kid together, and it brought us together, and we exchanged numbers so we could get rides to baseball games together if ever we needed it, but we never needed it.
Well,
Then we hung out once.
took
I watched you
advantage of
play Midnight Club LA.
Yeah.
Those
Hey,
are the days.
By the way, if you guys want to go on YouTube and look up Crew Lion Speed or just Lion Speed Midnight Club, like,
CR Pro Killer.
I was CR Pro Killer. I was the PS3 head of the largest cross-platform crew in Midnight Club Los Angeles. And we were just stellar. We had a lot of cool people. On PlayStation, we weren't. I mean, the title of best group out there with like the most talented racers and just kind of all around, like when you consider any factors that would kind of be considered when determining the best, that kind of goes to ARC, Alien
Race Clan.
Alien Racing Crew. My buddy over there, ARC Red Asphalt. Shout out to you. Probably never gonna see this video, but you know, it is what it is.
And the head guy's name of the PlayStation or of Lion Speed was Helmer, right?
No, he was under me, boy.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought Helmer was the head.
Helmer's my boy.
Either way, I've
Helmer's
just
my
decided I want to
boy.
call him Helmer Fudd, like, or Helmer Fudge since
No.
he's a colored man.
He was our drift team leader on PlayStation.
Okay.
I was the head of PlayStation branch. And then we had a couple really awesome racers. One of them, Harry and Scary.
Mm-hmm.
Great name, by the way. Fantastic guy. He's an Australian bloke, as they say. And then you know.
So I want to talk a little bit about just how.
Oh,
much
and then on Xbox,
cock
we had like
blocked.
half of like the top 50 in our crew, like on the leaderboards. We had a stellar team. And go ahead.
Cool story, bro.
So,
Thanks.
for those of you who don't know, I am an English tutor. I tutor English and writing and reading, all that good stuff, at my local community college that I attend. And to say the least, people that come in there that are ESL are usually more willing to work than the average person that comes in that is in the standard college level English class that just floated through it or is trying to float through it like they floated through everything in high school. And
Yvonne
you
just
said-
smiles.
I thought you said flirted through it. I was like, Jesus.
I wouldn't be where I am today without Ms. Johnson and those hot hips. Thanks for getting me my diploma.
rounded off at a nice 42. Anyway, or Professor Shaw. I mean, you know, he's got that.
Shaw was
He
stellar.
dresses nicely.
He's
Oh, look,
he's a strange old man, but he is an awesome person.
he's got a nice personality.
He's a nice guy.
He's got a beautiful personality. Anyway, but everybody who comes in that's ESL, okay, like at least 90%, maybe 1 out of 10 is in the latter group, but most of them are willing to work. They work hard, and they've actually listened when we go into the writing classes or the English classes, and we're like, hey, we're available to help, blah, 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 blah. You need your paper, your assignment, or excuse me, your paper, your assignment sheet, and your, we just can't help the day of. Holy crap, everybody had like a literary letter due today for English, college level English. And everybody came in. Like I sent away at least 20 people today saying I can't help the day something is due. And they just get pissed off and sassy, and it's just, do you people not listen? We wrote this on the board when we came in. These are our 3 rules. We tell people we can't help you if you have a paper that is due with like that day, and we can't help you if you don't have the assignment, obviously, because we need to read it and mark it up. We can't if we don't have the assignment sheet, because otherwise, how do we know what we're looking for? I swear to God, the people who are ESL and that have either migrated here for job opportunities or whatever the reason is, are so much smarter and harder working than any. Okay, not any, but like 99% of the kids that come in there. It is ridiculous. And it is one of my biggest pet peeves because everyone just procrastinates and slacks. And I get it. It was like Dan had said, what was it, probably 2 or 3 years back actually, that like a third of the population at the community college is kids that are attending high school but are in college classes. A third are people who just don't realize that their potential and what they have. And then a third is just like the whatever kids that just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to go to college for the sake of going to college.
Well, I would say the demographics are even a little bit different. The third of like high school people, PSEO, I would say that's true.
Post-secondary
I would
enrollment
say-
opportunity is what this stands for.
Then the third that you said is, I would say 1/3, well, maybe even less than that, maybe like maybe about a fifth, I would feel, are people who are a little bit older going back to school.
Yeah. Not even a fifth. You're right. It's a
Well,
low
there's
number.
a lot of night classes. Have you ever had a night class there?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a ton of people going back to school.
Maybe it was just because I was in a core class. I don't know.
Okay, yep. And then the remainder, what is that? 1/3 plus that
1/3. So we're in the 15ths.
So
So, we're
5/15ths
we're at
plus-
8/15ths. So we're at
Yep.
7/15ths left. Fractions.
I would say right about 50-50 between the remainder is what you said, the people who
Don't
kinda
care.
just don't care, and then the people who find it cheap and go there as a temporary option. I feel kind of like yourself. Yeah, you two. Both of you, yeah, now that I think about it.
Yeah. You losers. I don't know, but
College is expensive.
it is expensive at any rate.
And that community college that I suppose shall go nameless for now, is a stellar place to go if
Yeah.
you're looking for cheap schooling.
It actually is. Like, it's
My
actually a
classes are good.
pretty nice one.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a lot better about the classes that I'm taking now than I ever did at the university that I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can say, well, no, we probably shouldn't. They know our last names. They know where we live. So I mean, but I mean,
So,
whatever.
local community college
We're-
probably just kind of.
Let's just go with it because we're, like I said, we're stepping in the right direction of a little bit more professional.
not saying last names. And
We're just learning how to walk.
names.
So anyway, I'm Dan Johnson. Okay.
I'm Dan Vale.
Shit.
And my name also ends in AN.
Satan.
Oh, have we ever told that story on the podcast?
No, but before we do, I for like the last 2-3 years that I've had my phone number, people have been calling me asking for a plumber named Dan Anderson, and it's pissed me off. I once had like a 70-year-old lady
You know what
stay
I
on
would
the
do?
line with
I
me.
would just say like, yeah, when do you need service, and just say it like,
I'm here to
say
lay some
like, yeah, I'll
pipe.
be there next week. Does Monday work for you?
Monday at I think I'll actually be rounding out the lunch hour. What, 1 o'clock maybe?
Yeah. If
No.
that doesn't work, I can always swing by
Don't-
after your work day. I can, whenever you pick up the kids up from
I
school,
feel
I'll
like-
be there.
The way that you people are talking about it tells me that you've never had a
do you
service
mean,
person
you
come to your
people?
house before, because when you call and make
No,
an
no, yeah,
appointment,
I know.
it's
We'll be here between 9
No,
and
no, no.
2.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, for the act,
Yeah.
you do that just to like be super accommodating, and then how funny would it be? You just obviously you like quote unquote make the appointment, and then just don't ever show up.
I'm gonna take the dog out really quick while these two talk bad about me.
Okay.
I
So-
used to get phone calls for a man named Scott Ledoux.
Okay.
He is a county commissioner around here.
Scott Ledoux.
Yeah, he was a county commissioner.
Okay. I was gonna say I know Scott Schulte is a county commissioner. Or wait, no, maybe city commissioner. Whatever.
He used to be. Now his wife is running for county commissioner in the same area.
Scott Schulte is a nice guy. Anyway, so that
But,
AN story.
Before
Should
that,
tell
hold
us-
up. But this is
okay,
important
Okay. Okay.
because I used to get phone calls for him. Obviously, an important person in the area. And so there's always just one person that ever called for him.
Mhm.
And then one day, I got a call, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Blah blah blah. It goes on. It's like, "What happened?" So I looked it up. This guy died.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh Jesus!" But he was also apparently back in the day. He was a really famous boxer.
Yeah, I was gonna say that name sounds familiar.
What name?
Maybe it was from
Scott
the county
Ledoux.
commissioners.
Scott Ledoux.
He's
Like
a county
for
commissioner.
some reason, the Ledoux
They used to have like
name
signs and stuff
sounds familiar.
with like boxing gloves on them.
Okay.
Because he would
And I
run,
don't
'cause
think-
they would run for county commissioner on
Yeah,
here.
but I wouldn't. I don't do anything with boxing. But since that's kind
County
of more
commissioner.
popularized, maybe that would be the reason why I know it.
County commissioner probably.
Maybe.
County commissioner.
Because people
maybe.
are
Well-
putting, because it's this area. People put
Yeah.
up signs for it.
Yeah. I feel like I knew a Ledoux family, maybe
Maybe.
children.
I don't know.
Of his
But yeah,
who are-
I'd get calls for him on my phone all the time. It was awkward.
So the AN story.
Yes.
One time,
Satan.
us three.
Should I talk?
Dan
'Cause I haven't-
Johnson, Dan Vale, and are we saying
Satan.
nameless?
Satan.
Satan.
So yeah, we
Should we just
were.
call him Satan? This is We've already introduced him at this podcast
Yeah, his
as
name
Yvonne.
is Yvonne. Okay.
From now on,
Oh yeah, but nobody can see his face. That's the
That's the
Oh,
gimmick.
yeah.
That's the
bit.
gimmick.
Okay,
Yvonne Losgario.
That's even worse because that's how it's actually spelled.
So
If you were to say it how it's pronounced, I'd be
Lizetio.
fine.
I don't know how, but your father came up under people I should add on Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
I looked through his pictures, and you have his face, but oh my god, it's just fantastic to just see the Hispanic side of your family. Oh my god. Anyway,
So we were
Baker
we were all
Square.
at Baker Square having some lunchy lunch,
okay.
and our waitress comes up to us, and Mr. Dan Vale over there, Sugar Cube number 1.
Dan Anderson.
Oh wait,
thank
no,
you.
your subscript. What are your subscript? One?
I
and I'm
don't know.
superscript?
I have
Whatever.
no idea.
That guy over there, sitting across the room from
The
me.
other
you guys,
Dan.
yeah, the other Dan, not me. He's a very chatty fellow,
I
and
am.
he can be very outgoing and goofy. And we were,
People hate him.
yeah, we hate him so much. There's a reason why we never go out with him, except for once a week after this.
I was about to say, Yvonne
podcast
wants to
every
go to
time.
dinner tonight.
Our waitress came up to us. She's like, "Hi, my name is whatever. What's a good girl's name? Lisa. Hi, my name's Lisa. I'll be your waitress today." And Dan goes, "Hi, my name's Dan.
Lisa.
This guy's name is Dan too." And he points to me. And then she goes, "Oh," and looks at Yvonne and goes,
Is your name
"Is
Dan
your
too?
name Dan too?" And Dan Vale goes, "No, but his name ends in A-N."
No. Yvonne said, "No, but my name ends in
no,
An."
No. I'm not that
You
quick.
said it, Dan.
I'm not that quick.
No, you said it.
No, somebody said no, but his name ends in An. And then I'm like, yeah, it's Satan.
No, you said.
Did
Pretty
I?
sure you did.
No, you said.
Oh dang.
Because
No,
I'm
his
not.
name is.
I'm
ends
not
in-
quick enough to think about that.
Fog
You just
memories.
killed the punchline, Dan. I'm trying to tell a story. No, so yeah, so he goes A-N, Satan, right? And she's like, "Oh, that's oh," and like kind of like a, oh, and like Yvonne was just processing it, and like after like Dan said it, like a second after he said it, Yvonne kind of realizing goes like, "Oh God," and then our waitress like is super flustered, so she goes, "Let's just start over. My name's Lisa. I'll be your waitress today." That was so funny.
When I realized, that was when I realized that my name ends in An.
Yeah.
Up till this point, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was super funny.
Never spelled my name.
Not as funny as the time that you, me, and Miles went out to Olive Garden. That was so funny.
Oh my
you were
God,
like,
that was
you
fantastic.
Were very blatantly, like intentionally, but awkwardly hitting on the waitress.
Yeah. And she never came back after that last one.
Yeah.
Wait, they
oh,
had,
that was so
she
funny.
must have asked somebody to have a different person come over.
Yeah.
It must have been that.
So one of the funny things that happened is she's asking for our drink orders, and me and Miles go like, "Oh, I'll have water," you know. And she goes, "Yeah, and for you?" And Dan goes, "I'll have water, but a cup of wine for you," and winks at her very obviously, and then just looks dead forward and like folds his hands and does it like straight face.
As though
And
nothing
she-
just transpired.
Yeah, and she misheard him. She's like, "Huh, what?" And so he does it again. And then she writes down water and walks away. And then like a different like after we fully ordered our food, she comes up to another gal brought our food out to us, and she goes, "Oh, be careful, the plates are really hot." And Dan, what did you say? I like things
Good.
heated up and dangerous.
No, I like
or
things
something?
hot and dangerous.
Okay, God, that was-
Close enough, though.
and my favorite part was this gal who brought out the food goes like and like like doesn't know what to do, so she awkwardly laughs and just sets the food down and walks away. Oh, that's so funny.
So, speaking of black people.
Oh, what about the time that we went to Best Buy
Never
and
a
I was
word.
buying I was shopping for the iPod dock.
Yeah,
And the one gal walked by, and we were looking at him, and she goes, "Hey, can I help you with anything?" And you're like, "Yeah, what are you doing on Friday?" Oh, that was so funny.
I'm sorry. I'm very out there.
Yeah, but you're not as bad as Zach, so that's
Yeah,
just
I'm not serious. Zach's serious.
Oh my god.
I know.
That one
sometimes
time we went to B-dubs. My god.
sometimes I'm just like
Zach.
Zach.
You should tape. Oh wait, no, never mind. Tape the chords. Get some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put tape on
Anyway.
there just so I know who's who, but I already know Yvonne's number 1, you're number 2, and I'm number 3. Anyway, no, production talk. The thing I don't like, I love Zach. I love Zach. He's
Zach
a great
too.
person.
He's a very fun person.
But
to be with.
His problem
To
is
be around, not be
yes.
with. I'm sorry. I am.
I've never been with
I
him
have a
romantically.
girlfriend.
I've only
Yeah.
kissed him once. So, true story. But whilst he's a wonderful person, the fact of the matter is that he tries everything way too hard with women. Like, he just comes off as the strongest thing in the world. And I get it. You know, you have to try. If you don't try, you're never gonna actually get anywhere. Dan Lewis has put on his I don't give a shit glasses.
Ivan just starts like holding back his laughter.
And Zach just has such a he comes off so strong, and it's just like, Zach, stop. I
Yeah.
get it, you try, but there's a level where it's just like, okay, it's not funny, it's not cool, it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I cringe when I see him go over there, because at that point I'm kind of just like,
Yeah. You know what? He doesn't do it at school when we're hanging out together nearly as much as he used to last year.
okay, that's good.
Or at least towards the beginning of last year.
Zach, I love you still.
Yeah, Zach's
Hi,
an
Zach.
awesome person.
That kiss meant everything to me.
No, but this year, granted, we're only, 3.5 weeks in? Or at least for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Three
more or
weeks.
less. 4 weeks.
I'm
3, 4
in.
weeks.
You guys
I'm
started a
at the
week
end of my
before me.
4th week,
Okay.
so you're about 3 weeks in. We'll
3
say.
weeks in, yeah. Yeah, no, he hasn't really done. He's asked. Okay, so out of the 3 days a week that I see him there and hang out with him for an hour and a half each time, he's only asked one. He's only gotten one girl's number. Asked 2 girls for their numbers.
Which is funny because he's in a romantic interest.
Yeah,
A
but
fair thing.
he still is goofy that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here and I'm like, hey, you want to sing in my impromptu choir group? Seriously though, I've
Just
I-
you want to sing my impromptu choir group? Everybody else, no.
No,
I-
okay.
no, I got someone to do it
I
today.
need somebody to harmonize with.
All I need is an alto. I've gotten everything but an alto. I've got a bass. I've got me as a tenor. I've got a soprano, and now I finally found an alto today, which is awesome. But I have 2 stories. So the first story being that I was.
Do you need a didgeridoo?
I do.
Okay, I got it.
Um,
I got your back.
I need a didgeridoo, and Yvonne, I want you to beatbox.
Oh wait, no, Yvonne, don't you have an alto sax?
I do.
Okay.
Oh,
Yvonne can be alto sax. Didgeridoo and alto sax.
This is gonna be like some great jazz.
Although I can only play 3 notes.
That's fine. We only need 2. Anyway, well, no, boom, doon 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 doon.
You can get 1 octave out of it.
Yeah, that works.
You'll get more do 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 do
Anyway,
with circular breathing.
yeah, this is. He's practicing.
I
Anyway,
love circular breathing.
I was
It's
at
so much fun. It's
I was
a cool
at voice
break.
lessons yesterday, and quick aside, both of the pieces I'm working on in voice lessons are fantastic because one's from My Fair Lady, it's,
Nice.
on the street where she lives. The other one's from the Beauty and the Beast musical,
Oh God, I'm
with
sorry.
a song that's not in the movie called "If I Can't Love Her." It's actually a really good song. Yvonne looks grumpy.
Yvonne's always grumpy.
I know.
He's
I-
half Hispanic.
He asked, "When can you hang out today?" And I said, "Come on over now." He's like, "You want me over now?" And I'm like, "For sure." And then he just sends me a text like, "God damn it!"
By the way, I did not mean that for. I did not mean
Not
for that to
that's
sound
true.
Not
that
verbatim.
half Hispanics are normally grumpy. I don't. It was the first thing that came to mind. I'm sorry.
So anyway,
That's true.
but I was in voice lessons yesterday, and I'm asking my teacher, I'm like, Richard, how old are you? I could peg you seriously anywhere between 25 and 40. He's like, oh, I'm 32. I'm like, I don't
So I
get
was
it.
right.
I'm like, I don't get it. And he's like, oh, well, I attribute it to the black side of my family. I'm like, wait, what? Because this is like the whitest guy. He always
Like
dresses
he's
super
pale,
properly.
pale?
Like he has a shaved head all the time because he's balding, so he wears it nicely. And
Okay.
yeah, a super pale guy. But and then I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, oh yeah, my dad's black. And then he goes on to say, I just don't get how those people just don't age. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I mean, they hit like 25, and then they don't get any older until they hit about 50, and it's just all downhill from there. I think it's because we can't see the wrinkles because the shadows blend in. I'm just like, Jesus Mary, this is fantastic. So anyway,
They took everything from the Samoans.
Did he have a picture of his dad on him?
no,
You should ask for it
I
and
re-
see if his dad's actually black.
send him an
See if he
email.
wasn't
He
saying,
won't
actually
have a
just-
picture of his dad.
See?
send him an email. Hey, can you bring a
Good
picture of
one,
your dad to
Yvonne.
the choir tomorrow,
Up
please?
top.
Gotta have that soundbite.
What
My other story. I told Dan this, and I told Yvonne this, but I'm just gonna kind of tell it to the podcast.
Tell the people, Dan.
Got drunk for the first time this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That was an experience. I was playing Mario Kart with my friend Andrew, but we were playing kind of a variant in which you had to take a shot of blueberry vodka every time,
As in instead of
instead of
beer.
no, because you would have to in regular Mario Kart you have
Yeah.
to drink and finish your beer during that race.
Yeah.
Um,
So instead of 5% alcohol.
yes, but they're about equivalent
Okay.
alcohol
Piss off.
wise. All right, fine.
I'm a whiskey guy. We already covered that last week.
Still never had
Or
whiskey.
last time. It's fantastic.
Anyway, and so Andrew
Tried sometime.
Jacobs
I got
is
some Jameson at home.
we're playing.
Some Irish whiskey.
We're playing.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not gonna do more than like a shot. Or
We
half
should
a
shut
shot
up so
at
he
a
can
time.
finish his
Yeah,
story.
yeah, that's true.
Hey.
Tell your story,
How's it going?
man. Come on. Some say the end is near.
Anyway,
Some say we'll see Armageddon soon.
certainly, oh,
Look at
free
him.
will.
He can't contain himself.
Sure could use a vacation.
Come on, Pat.
from
Let's
this
go.
bull crap. No, the line's bullshit. Yeah, I know, but my mom's listening from the inside. She doesn't let me say bullshit. So, anyway,
Danny just said it twice.
I know.
Mrs. Vale, your son is swearing.
I was imitating a 15-year-old in his garage with his friends.
Oh yeah, that's true. Petting
Anyway.
some Tool.
Yeah.
They
Bunch
don't
of
have a
Tools playing
drummer. They
Tool.
have to have just downloaded Danny Carey's drum track for it. Nobody's gonna play it.
Anyway, so we're playing Mario Kart, and Andrew Jacobs has decided we're going to play the Nintendo 64 version. I've never played that version in my life, and he has played a lot. I only bought my first 64 about 3 to 4 years ago, for first ever. Anyway.
I never owned a 64, but I've still.
I was a
played
Sony
my
boy all the way. I
64.
started
You are
with PlayStation 1.
As did I. I'm with you. But Yvonne, the problem with you is that you think that I had friends in elementary school, and to that I say, ha, false.
Have you seen his home videos that his mom was showing me and I the other day?
No, but I saw the video of him smash his head against the wall.
That was
Head
so
banging, man,
funny.
head banging.
Oh, Dan, if you can, you should put
Send that to
that
Zach.
right at the send it to Zach and put it at the end of this
I'm
video.
going to put that at the end of this video. I'm going to.
Okay, there's this phenomenal video of Dan as a young child smashing his face against the wall.
Anyway, and so I'm what's up?
I want to see that.
He's here. See my headband or my wristband rather.
I thought that's what it said.
Yeah, it's my
Ref-
buddy's band.
Referring back to an old guest.
Oh yeah, that
He
one
was
kid,
here.
Jake Van Pancake.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway, and so he's glitching through all the maps and like getting like laps ahead of me, and I'm like he'd glitch through, finish a lap really quick, glitch through, finish lap, glitch through, finish lap, and I'd be like halfway through the first lap and be like, this is stupid, and
That's
This game,
Andrew.
this is rigged.
I beat him once. He had a shot of vodka in him, and at this point, I was gone. I was just wasted, and so I had my coworker, Duran, pick me up, and no, it's not Darren, it's Duran.
No, I know, but I just had another thought.
What's up?
Is your mom listening to this? Will she?
She might. She probably will.
Okay.
Why?
It seemed like a story.
Because
She knows.
the legal
Okay.
limit is not 18 here in Minnesota, Daniel.
I know, but she knows, and she knew. I tell her if I'm ever gonna drink.
I came in and puked on her. She was totally cool.
Mama. Anyway,
Did you have fun at Andrews? Yeah, it was awesome. Sorry. That was bad.
Dan, you smell like alcohol. No, I'm totally.
Like, what is it? That one thing in Family Guy where they're like, they all take the
Who
vomit
wants
inducing-
chowder?
no, like is that what it is? Is that
No,
what
they all take the medicine and then they
Yeah.
see you
See
go
who
the longest
pukes
without throwing
first.
up.
Whoever holds out the longest wins.
Yeah. Anyway, and so my friend Duran picks me up. My coworker Duran picks me up, and we head back to my house, and he is pretty high. He's pretty high. On something called like Blue Nightmares. I don't know. I've been out of the game too long, and so we go for a walk at about 1 a.m. for an hour and a half or so. And I'm walking him dilly down, having a great old time listening to why the hell Duran wants to be a history major. And at one point, I start tripping over absolutely nothing. I'm just walking on the sidewalk, and I'm like, oh, no, oh! And then I fall onto the ground, just like my face first. And for a minute, I'm just like, oh, this is so nice. And I felt no pain, except for the next morning, my pinky really hurt, which I don't understand because I didn't fall on my pinky. So, we're walking, and I don't remember most of it. I was pretty much blacked out. Get home again, and get into bed. Thinking, just, oh my God, this feels so nice. And I'm like, I really have to puke. And so I get up, waddle over to the bathroom, lay down next to the toilet, hug it like it's my best friend I haven't seen in years, like it will in November. Start puking my guts out, pouring my heart out, same thing. I get back in bed, think to myself, man, that feels a lot better. Go to bed. Yeah. All in all, probably not going to get drunk again. I'd just rather be sober and beat him in Mario Kart.
2 out of 10. Not worth it.
Not worth it, no. Because in both instances, I was like, look, I'm drinking your alcohol. Here's a couple of bucks. And then, hey, Duran, thanks for picking me up. Here's a couple of bucks. Because I figured that's only fair. And for $12, I'd rather just stay sober and play RuneScape.
And then somebody stole my $100 bill. I don't know that one.
You're the second person who said that exact same thing to me.
What?
What?
That there's like, drinking, not worth it. Never doing it again.
No, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Too.
It's expensive, and yeah, we could have so much more fun doing something else. Like
we
going
have
to
fun
Taylor's
doing
Falls.
stupid crap like this. We
Yeah.
sit
I
around
have
and we
the
talk
same-
for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, for like
We-
$420.
Okay, I'm going to tell something to our lovely fan base of 20 people.
Hey guys, we love you so much.
Us three, me, I'm 21, 20,
I'm 20. Yeah,
20.
20. That's what I thought.
I'm the youngest here
So
by like 5 months. No, 6 months.
So 3 20-somethings, we
You're-
go out to eat
yeah.
together, and we're sitting down talking about like what we're gonna do for each other's marriage.
Oh yes.
It was so funny. We were talking about weddings and what we're gonna do and who's gonna be.
Yvonne's gonna have a sequin dress or a
plans.
sequin tuxedo rather.
It was pretty funny.
So yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, you better marry Nicole before she changes her mind.
All I want is famous Dave's.
He doesn't.
Honey, we can do whatever you want. We can have a $60,000 wedding
don't
as
care.
long as there is famous Dave's.
for dinner.
Yvonne's just thinking to herself like, when did they serve famous Dave's in Cancun?
Why do I want to go to Cancun? It's hot there.
No, where's the famous Dave's?
Coon Rapids.
No, Yvonne's honeymoon spot is gonna be the
The
town
birthplace.
right next to where their headquarters is, and like go take a tour of famous Dave's.
No, see, you say that, and then I think I was like, no, I would want to go to like the Rock and Roll Museum, and then I think about where that is. That's Cincinnati, Ohio. There's nothing interesting in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Except for the
There's
Rock and Roll Museum.
Except for the Rock and Roll Museum.
There's
I don't
nothing
wanna
in
do it.
Ohio.
I know. That would be the only thing I do, and it's like, all right, we're done here.
Like there's a pretty big lake near there. That's pretty neat.
No.
That's about
Could be
it.
like Maine.
Maine would be super.
Maine would be cool.
Didn't we talk about that?
Maybe. I don't remember.
I think.
Alternatively,
I really like the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's my home. It's my first home.
Yeah.
He's from
I always
Boston.
love it.
He's from Boston.
Boston.
We could go.
Boston.
We could go with
Boston.
the Pennsylvania and go with the Hershey's Chocolate Factory.
Nah, we're going all the way up to Maine.
Honey, we're going to the Hershey's Chocolate Factory for our honeymoon.
No, we're seriously.
About
didn't
to plant
I
these
think we
Hershey
talked
Kisses
about it,
right
like
on
going
you.
camping up in Maine, or something,
I
or
don't
like
remember.
staying somewhere up in Maine.
I remember you
It
and
was
I
like
talking
a
about going to New York.
fantastic. It was like a fantastical kind of.
I don't remember, but I
Like,
remember you and
how
I
cool
talking
would
about
that
going.
be if we went on a vacation?
We talk about that a lot, but
Yeah.
we should actually go camping
I think we should
sometime.
do a camping
I
sometime.
really want to go camping. Only thing I'm not going to be a big fan of is pooping in the woods, but I mean, I'll get over it.
If we go to a campground, they'll have like porta potties.
Is there Wi-Fi in the woods?
Then what's the
areas
point
where-
of camping?
Because that's about all they have out there is like bathrooms and stuff,
Uh,
and potentially showers too. I think.
I'll tell you guys where my poop's
Depending on
buried.
it depends on where you go. If you go up to somewhere like the Boundary Waters, you're literally like bringing survival gear, and you have to like hunt and fish for your
Sounds like fun.
sustenance.
I'm so
Whereas
down.
if you go to someplace like right down the road to Bunker Hills, it's literally like
Trailers.
There's campgrounds right there, and you can take a 5-minute walk and you're at the golf course.
Yeah.
Take another 5-minute walk and you're into the suburbs. It's like,
I'm not camping.
so it really depends on where you go.
Which reminds me, heading up to my cabin tomorrow, and I'm so excited. Yeah.
Up near that Becca power plant that's polluting the air.
Yeah. Gonna fish for some fishies in the river. We're not gonna catch anything because guess what? The river sucks. That's okay. I caught 2 fish last weekend. That's pretty cool. Anyway,
Yvonne gets his thumbs up of approval going.
so do you guys bring any topics, or is it just on me
Oh.
again?
Okay, yeah, so I had something fantastic.
Okay.
So, you know, have you guys heard about Kanye?
Tell 'em about we need everybody to stand up.
Yes, I heard about
Oh,
this.
you're in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're in a
Prove
wheelchair.
it.
Yeah. Okay, so now, Dan, and you're going to have to put this up on as the background for this part in the video.
All right, let me see what the mark is for the time signature.
Okay.
About 37 minutes in. Oh wow! But that's gonna be cut down a little bit because we're gonna cut out the first part.
Well,
so.
that's gonna cut out like a
34-ish
minute.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah. So
approximately.
yeah. So I came across this on Reddit.
So describe it to us, Dan.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
okay, so
yeah.
Kanye scores 106 points against wheelchair basketball team. It's just a picture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it basically says charity basketball game didn't go exactly
Didn't
as planned
go
when
exactly
Kanye
as planned. I thought that was
West
super
scored
funny.
106 points against a team of handicapped
So-
children in wheelchairs.
Now
That's fantastic.
this kind of okay. Hold on, I gotta save this picture so that we can.
Let's talk about the
save
social
photos.
implications of this.
Well, no, because it reminded me of something that Yvonne kind of pointed out. Who did you see? Who some 41, right? Who was like, was that who you saw? Who was like, if people come out here and they say, "Hey, what's going on?" You boo them.
No,
Who
that
it?
was
No, that wasn't some 41. No, that
oh,
wasn't.
what's their name? Bowling for Soup.
Bowling for
Yeah,
Soup.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
did I think some 41.
They came out and there's
I
like,
don't know.
so this was Warped, and there's like, so the
Warped
way
Tour.
that this concert works is that people come out here and say, "How y'all doing?" And then you're supposed to cheer because that's what you do. And then they're also assholes and they call you motherfuckers. There's like, "How y'all doing, motherfuckers?" But we're against that. So if we ever say that to you, we want you to boo us as loud as you possibly can. And flash forward 30 seconds. So how y'all doing, motherfuckers? Everybody, boo! You suck. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Phenomenal.
So yeah, I was thinking about that. That's such a cop out move to be like, everybody stand up, stand up. How about you just write better music? Like, how about you be a little more passionate?
Make me want to stand up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, like that kind of thing. Like,
Everybody
I
stand up for
feel
some
it's-
Beethoven.
like I feel it's such a cop out to like.
I thought of something that's pertinent. I thought our shower thoughts happened to me today in the shower
Yeah,
that I'll
separate
talk about
shower thought.
when you're done.
Yeah, so that's about all I have. It was just kind of like, that's such a cop out move to like say like, all right, everybody, try and act pumped up for this.
Yeah.
Because clearly you're not pumped up enough by my performance. So guys, if we ever become famous, my idea was
Make sure to write good songs.
write good music or playing shitty venues like bars where people are naturally sitting down
love
and eating.
bars.
That would be it's a shitty venue to play in.
We can play it in a
As a
pickle
band-
park.
as a
Love bars.
band,
Yeah,
as a
but
band.
I still love bars.
Yeah. Like it's cool to go to a bar and listen to music.
I
To
love
be the
doing that.
person playing at a bar, it's kind of like,
Probably not good.
really, you're about here.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's the point.
If you're having
Um,
fun, though, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
do it.
which
So,
we can totally do.
I
Anyway.
feel like we either play there, or if we become famous, do very much like
We have
what
to
Bowling
be-
for Soup is. We'll say, hey, listen, here's what happens. Every time you hear somebody try to like do this cop out move, and we'll describe it, you boo them. Okay.
Well, they
What's
didn't say
funny
it for
is-
everybody else.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying we
Oh, yeah.
support that. Yeah.
The other thing that we should try and do is be Steel Panther.
Yes.
because that'd be great.
Or maybe we'll have a
Not-
Steel Panther tribute
Yeah. Not
album.
exactly their music,
album.
but I mean like the way that they act.
What if we had like a Zed
Okay.
Zeppelin tribute band?
Zed Leppelin.
But here's,
You gotta let the Zepp out. Oh wait, no, the Zed out.
Hey,
You have
whatever,
to let
man.
the Zed out.
so here's the thought that I had earlier today.
I'm listening.
So people don't like going to concerts with me because I'm not very fun to go to with concerts.
I think you're a fantastic person going to concerts.
Because I just go to concerts and I sit and watch.
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
Well, yeah. See, okay, us three, we're like the three who can agree on that's kind of what we do.
Nicole doesn't like going to concerts with me because I just like to sit and watch.
You see, the only time I won't sit and watch is if there's a mosh pit going on, and then I'll go into the mosh pit for about 10 minutes and come back.
Nah.
That's about
Because
it.
the way that I've always been is that I grew up wanting to do music and play music, and that's all I wanted to do.
I thought you were gonna say poor.
No. My first 2 years of college was as a music major. And so
Yeah.
what I always did was I watched people and I wanted to see what I could learn from them. And I forget something you said brought me onto this about
Mosh
Beethoven.
pit. Beethoven's, yeah.
is what brought me to this is that I listen to the music, but not really. I'm more studying the people.
Right.
But then when I thought about it earlier today, and when I go see Orchestra Hall, when I go see the Minnesota Orchestra, that's the
Giving
only.
away our location.
We are fucking Bunker Hills over here.
I know. I know. Plus the Boundary Waters didn't help
Yeah.
at all.
But
Everybody knows where the hell we are. We've said it like 3 times.
know,
We said
I
we
know.
worked
This
at Broncos on 7th Avenue in Anoka. We've said that.
but anyway,
stick with the jokes.
the thing that I notice is when I go to concerts, orchestra concerts, that's the only time I'll sit there and just listen. I don't have to
Yeah.
watch anybody. It's just
Right.
I enjoy the music.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
thought that was weird.
Yeah. No, that's
it's,
interesting.
It's fascinating. It's honestly like to see how much work actually goes into being able to do that. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Now,
And that's how I got my new job.
yeah.
Because that's what I told them. It's like, I am a musician, first and foremost. That's what I've always been. And the definition of being a musician is I am fucking trainable.
Yeah.
I have taken lessons on God knows how many instruments.
Did they laugh at that?
No, they're just like, yes. I have taken lessons, and the expectation of you taking a lesson is you go in there, they tell you what to do, you learn it, you do it immediately.
What are you? What section are you in?
I'm doing inventory and stocking.
That'd be great if you're just in appliances. That'd be fantastic.
That'd
I gotta
be
get the dog.
So, similar to Yvonne here about, well, not similar. Well, okay, we have the similar approach of sitting and watching, but for different reasons.
I'm very Asian when it comes to how I like to watch things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like- I don't like to act. I don't like to act while I'm doing things. I just like to watch what I'm paying for.
Yeah. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, I'm in it for the experience." Well, yeah, that's cool, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can just turn on my stereo at home and get good acoustics and crank up the music and
Yeah.
dance around the same way you would there, and it shouldn't be any different. But see, what is different? The only thing that's different is there's people acting theatrically. And I think that factor is super interesting to me, how that factor kind of
Well, I don't mean
changes everything. And since I grew up taking piano lessons and doing recitals, I've played at the Mall of America and at Rosedale Mall during Christmas season. So I've been into like this, like the theatrical aspects. And of course, I feel like you guys should know this about me. I'm more introverted, but when it comes to like being goofy and like goofing around and being theatrical, I can actually be creative and more outgoing and like have a lot of fun with it. So like that's kind of why I'm there. I want to see how other people do that. Kind of similar to you. Like I want to sit and watch and learn. But kind of also, oh gosh, oh man, what were you saying about your thing? You like to look at people and learn how they do things better. And what's the guy's name? Steve Byrne. I think he's from the Talking Heads, right? He wrote this book called like How Music Works, and it's more than there's actually very little about like music itself. It's a lot about like extenuating circumstances, both economically to physically, and everything about music. And one of the things I found was really interesting is like how the venues have a very huge impact on how you write your music. Like apparently, like think back to classical era, a lot of the classical music wasn't written for like
You talked about this last week.
people to sit and watch. It was for
Background
people to
music.
like background music and stuff. And so that's where you get a lot of that like loud, boisterous kind of very flowy and like moving all around kind of music. But then when you hear like other symphonies that are super quiet, that was like after it became kind of standard to sit and watch and listen. So they could be a lot more dynamic and fluctuating between highs and lows and in terms of volume. Loud and soft, I guess, is probably a better way to say it.
The dynamics.
But that kind of leads me to Foo Fighters. I can't remember which. They have a couple. They have a couple documentaries now. One is gosh, I can't remember what it is. One of them I was watching, and Dave Grohl talks about how he played he played for Nirvana, and they would play in like small venues, punk venues and stuff like that. Kind of like around here we have like First Ave and stuff like that. Like that's where he grew up in Nirvana playing. And for the first part of Foo Fighters, that was the same way. Until he went on tour as an opener for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they were playing in big arenas. He said he started writing songs that catered specifically to what he calls arena rock. So I think that's really interesting how like
songs you can jump to, I think is what you said last time. You said like he would jump, or no, we were watching it together, and he said I would start jumping up and down, and that'd be the tempo of the song, and people would start jumping in the crowd.
I don't think that was with me, Dan, because I don't.
No, it
know
was.
that at all.
I know it was for you.
Suck it.
Shit.
No, I don't recall that, but I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I thought that was like super interesting. So like, and then other Dan, super crazy good bassist with incredibly stellar, phenomenal drummer brother.
Help me get my job.
What?
Help me get my job.
Yeah. That Dan. We'll leave them nameless for now. Although they own and operate Infinity Drum Works. Fantastic company. Highly recommend them. Drum manufacturers.
Gave you your cool drum kit.
My stellar drum kit.
Sick kit.
His purple
Fuzzy.
zebra.
No, it's not purple zebra, Dan. Thanks. Fuzzy leopard drums.
Whatever.
They're
Come on,
so
Dan, not
amazing.
zebra.
Come on,
Leopard.
Dan. What do you think this is? The 70s? No, I'm in like the early 90s. Okay.
The late 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. So, what was I talking about? No, I think it was super interesting how, just like even the way you write, even if you fit into the same genre and have like the same sound, you can write songs completely differently to cater to where you're playing and who you're playing to. And so like all of that theatrical kind of stuff and like that stylistic kind of like I love paying attention to that. Like when I went to see Streetlight Manifesto, you know, the mosh pit seems like it would have been fun to jump into, but the way their music like moved, it changed. They changed tempos and time signatures and keys and things quite often.
Right.
And it was super cool, and dynamics as well. It was super cool watching how the mosh pit actually flowed like with it. It looked like a weird EQ or equalizer that would like move with the music. That was one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. Was watching the mosh pit at Streetlight Manifesto move and slow down with the music. It was super, super insane. So I'm more of a watcher than a participator.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my explanation.
I've just got an uncanny ability, maybe not an ability, curse of being excited at just a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get,
He likes things.
I just like things. When I get in a big venue with a lot of people, or when I get with a lot of excitement in the air, something like that, something big, something like at the Foggy Molly concert or at the even at small metal shows. I'm just like, if there's a mosh pit going on, I'm just like, all those people are having fun. You know what? I'm joining in just because. I mean, hell, man, I've got nothing better to do. I'm just sitting here and watching. I might as well just have a little bit of fun. And for me, it's fun. And I totally get it if you're not into that type of thing. I'm not into I don't know what the hell they're called, but it's for like
Walls of Death.
What is that?
That's terrible. That's like where you.
Oh,
They literally part the Red Sea and have it run at each other.
no. The thing I'm thinking of, it's more in hardcore scenes.
Where
It's,
they like flail and kick. And
Not even that. They
Okay.
literally just run in circles.
Circle
circle pits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Circle
on,
pits are cool.
Dan.
That
circle
sounds like
pits.
the dumbest thing to me. Like, and I get it.
They're pretty dumb.
They're dumb, but they're cool.
They're cool to see. They're cool to watch. They're
and that's
stupid to be in.
That's my opinion on mosh pits. Is like I love being in them.
Mhm.
I mean, it's fantastic because it gives you almost a sense of camaraderie. Because if you get knocked down, nobody touches you until somebody picks your ass up. And like the people, you have like 4 hands sticking out. Like, come on, get up, man. You're not out of this yet. And so like, it's like your worst enemy just picks you up. Like,
Gosh,
come
where
on.
were you at Christian punk shows?
No, that's how it works.
I've never seen that. Like at Streetlight Manifesto, I saw a bunch of people get knocked down and like almost trampled on.
Yeah, but that's because it's Streetlight Manifesto. And
Yeah, Streetlight
they're
Manifesto,
punk-
and
they're
it was
punk
their
kids.
like they announced their indefinite hiatus, so like everybody was super pumped. And now, of course, here we are after their quote unquote final tour. They're still playing shows at like festivals and stuff.
Right,
I
right,
think
right.
that's super funny. They
Maybe-
can never keep a decision, apparently.
Yeah,
The
Well, I mean-
scariest moment of my life
yeah.
was when I was standing there
You're sitting
Nice.
where like
in the middle of a crowd in a
Okay.
concert. And then I looked up and I saw the singer put his hands up.
Oh
and
no.
And he made the motion to split. And I was standing right in the middle. And my mind was immediately just like, no, this is bad. I have never pushed so many people in my entire life to get out. Because I had to get out of there.
Yeah, no
No,
kidding.
I understand.
That's where people die. That's why they
That's-
call it the Wall of Death.
Yeah,
That's the one where that is the Streetlight Manifesto scenario where she's like, if something happens, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna help you there.
I'm not a ram. I'm not into that type of thing.
Mm.
Not
No.
cool. The cool time when I saw it when I saw Avenged way back when.
That was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
That
That wasn't
while
way
ago.
back
It was a
when.
while ago.
It was 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
It was a while ago. To me, it feels like way back when.
Yeah.
A lot has changed since then. But
when
anyway,
that kid got on stage and sang Second Heartbeat.
that was cool. But when I saw them do the Wall of Death, when I saw it from above and just watched it all happen,
It's
that was cool.
cool to watch.
Watching
Yeah.
all of it happen from above, that was cool.
Mm.
Would never take part in it myself. Too big of a wuss.
So I feel like Dan will have a good answer to this, just because of his quirky nature.
Sure.
But in terms of historical figures, or maybe even not so recognizable ones,
Mm-hmm.
what is probably like your like, oh, this person just fascinates me, or I really admire this person. You know, something that sticks out in your mind that just for some reason it's just like, oh my god, this is fascinating. I feel like Yvonne's smiling really big right now. I feel like he's got something
Go
to
ahead.
say.
Go for
No,
it
you go
because
for
I
it.
can't
Okay.
think of anything yet.
Go ahead first.
Because like I'm not a historical kind of guy.
Totally not a real answer. But as soon as you said you're gonna have a good answer, I'm just like, I want to come up with a better answer. Fuck you.
You think Hitler? I'm going to go with Mao Zedong.
I'm thinking Hitler. Because how does one person go from living the life that he lived as a child and then going to be like, I want to go to art school, not getting accepted and be like, and then go on and be, I'm going to become leader of this country and kill all these people.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the disconnect happen where I didn't get into art school goes to I'm going to kill all these Jews? Where's the connecting point A to point B?
Yeah, where's 8.5?
Yeah. Where does the political interest come in? That's the question here.
Right. I don't know. It's interesting to think about because, and not to glorify him or anything, hail Hitler. But to be fair, he did bring Germany's economy out from just total wreckage. He actually brought it up humongously and
Kill a couple
restored it.
Jews to get the economy back up where it is. I mean, it's gotta make sacrifices at some point.
Well, I mean,
That's really bad.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I
That was
gotta-
really bad.
I gotta say something, but I can't. So I'm just gonna save this for later when we're off the podcast. No, not happening. Anyway,
Sorry.
but he also he was incredibly charismatic. Everybody loved him.
Yeah. No, he was a super good speaker. His message wasn't good, but he was a good speaker.
He had the ability to get a crowd to
Captivate
be
a
excited
crowd,
and,
yeah.
and
Yeah, that's
agree
true.
with him. That's what I'd say. But and it kind of even.
And it was also part of like the whole Mein Kampf deal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like I've heard parts of it, and then I know there's one part of the book where it's just like, the big lie is if you keep lying long enough and saying something
You'll
is true,
believe it yourself.
everybody else will believe it and say that it's true.
Oh.
And it's not so necessarily important that you believe that it's true.
Oh.
But it's just
I've
if
heard
you
that
say it
phrase
long
is-
enough, yeah,
yeah.
it's also that you'll believe it. But if you say it often enough and just repeat it,
There's
That's what I tell everyone that our
there's
podcast
actually
is
there's
good.
this thing called the mere exposure effect, and it's used in marketing a lot. Studies show that if you are exposed to a thing enough times, you will start forming positive ideas about it. So like you look back at I've seen screenshots of like old forum posts about like when they released the first one of the second iPods or something like that. And it's just people just hating Apple. Like, another MP3 player, really? Like, this is... and it's basically, like, what the minority says now. Like, really, there's no innovation here from, like, the previous model to the next model that you do. It was the exact same, but widespread. Like, everybody said it. The minority were the people like, oh, my gosh, it's awesome, right? And it seemed like Apple wasn't going to make it. But when you expose people to things enough times, all of a sudden it's like, and apparently actually read after I learned about that concept, I read a story or an article story something about how the music industry is literally like brainwashing us to like the garbage that's on KDWB.
Right.
I
Yvonne.
don't even
Well, the
listen to
Twin
93X
Cities.
anymore.
Yeah. Well, 93X doesn't have good music anymore.
No.
I
They don't have
pretty
good
much
music. They don't even have good talk shows in the
Yeah.
morning.
I pretty much only listen to
But it's like,
KDWB.
yeah.
Oh God.
It's good. I love it.
In quick relation, Brady Donovan, my stoner friend, is now on 88.5 on Monday mornings from 7 to 9 talking about technology, which is super cool. He's doing pretty well because like that.
Oh, yes, he's on
88.5 is the
radio.
only station I listen to. Like 88.5, 99, or excuse me, 91.9 and 99.5. So classical, then NPR, then jazz.
Mhm.
He's on the radio. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's not. He's already public.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's okay.
he's trying to get his voice to sound better, kind of like Josh from last time.
Yeah.
What?
Was that the other guy that was on the podcast?
Yeah,
last
the
time?
guy with the golden
Golden
voice.
Why is he trying to get his voice to sound better?
He was
No, no.
sick.
He was
He was sick. His voice was deeper than it normally is.
but
Okay,
we
I was
we,
gonna say,
we should have
what's
him back
the
sometime.
problem? His voice sounded great.
No,
Yeah.
we should really have him back sometime. He
Yeah,
was,
for
he was
sure. He was a cool
fascinating. Yeah.
He should.
He seemed to
Shut
like
up about
scoff
load
at
and
some of the
reload.
things I had to say because like I was not scoff, but like I thought it was kind of scoff's okay. Let me retract that. He seemed very
You were going against the
not even
grain.
off put, but like my concepts were very different. Like my line of thinking was very different to how he would think, and like my interests were very different than his, which is totally cool. And he respected my interests, and I respected his interests. It was super cool. But he like his facial expressions in response to like, oh yeah, I talk about a Christian music band and stuff like that. It was a little different. I mean, like he was a cool dude, and I would gladly have him
It's
around
also
again.
who
He's a
he
nice
hangs out
He
with.
said
chap.
Load and Reload were the best Metallica albums. He was a liar.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, Charlie.
Hi,
You don't want
Charlie.
pizza.
What was I talking about? Oh, the mere exposure effect. How they're brainwashing us to like pop music. So it's like there's a general consensus that, or not a consensus, I guess, but there's a process that seems to happen with a lot of people when they listen to like a pop song. Think of Justin Bieber. Think about how like Baby, Baby, Baby. God, this song sucks. This song is terrible. And then you hear it again. And it's like, oh, this song again. And then like 30 more times later, you can't get it out of your head. And you're just kind of walking along, singing along to it. And then eventually it comes on the radio and you're just like, yeah, whatever. But your first impression was like, God, it sucks. Why did that impression change?
I don't know.
It's because I've heard
But
it
I'm
so many
feeling-
times. It's called the mere exposure effect.
I'm
Like,
feeling. I don't know.
Like a
I
woman.
personally disagree.
no.
I agree. I am sure that it's a legit principle.
Yeah, and
But
I
at the
agree
same
with
time
you
that there's-
there are people who can find that stuff very tasteful and that you
But
like it.
I also mean that I know that there's times where I'll be listening to KWB where it's just like, I'm not listening to the song because I've heard it too
So
many times.
Yeah.
Like the song "Stay
Mhm.
with Me," but I forget who it's by.
I don't
But I heard
don't know what you're talking about.
I would hear it every single time.
I don't listen to that crap.
I would
I listen
listen.
to good music like C2C and
I would hear it every single time I drove in the car, and I'm just like, "Fuck this song! I hate it. I don't want to hear it."
Yeah,
ever.
no kidding.
And so every time it would come on, change the channel because I don't want any part of it.
Mhm.
Now their song, like All About That Bass, I hear that every single time I'm in the car.
Yeah.
My mom plays it all the time, and I effing hate that song.
I'm okay with it. I get it stuck in my head sometimes, and I know it, but it's just like, there's worse songs.
I was actually into it at first. I'm like, okay, cool. Kind of, not a skinny girl singing about being a little chunky. It's whatever. That's fine. More power to you. But it's just beating it senselessly into my head is just like, God damn it.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, Mom. You need to know the truth.
Mrs. Vale, your son hates your music taste.
Every episode we have like a coming out of just like,
Sorry, Mrs. Vale.
here's why your son's gonna
I showed
disappoint
my
you this
dad
week.
this video on YouTube where the kid comes out to his mom.
Oh yeah,
he's-
yeah. In the trailer or whatever.
No. Just hear this one out. He's sitting in a car. This kid and his mom are black. They're sitting in the car, and he pulls out his phone, starts recording him and his mom, and he's like, "Mom, I feel it's time you should know, and this is really hard for me to say. Man, sometimes God, I don't even know how to say it." And he just looks over at his mom. I'm black.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she, of all things, and just like camera shuts off right there. My dad just thought that was so funny.
That's fantastic.
It was pretty good.
But no, like, I kind of understand because back to your point about the brainwashing, just because there are some things where I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of grown on me that I actually, whatever. But at the same time, like, I still hate EDM, dubstep, and house music. I don't know the
Really?
difference, but I just
What about
don't like it.
C2C?
Don't even know what that is.
The only EDM that is acceptable. It's like a French techno, like, okay, of course you say French techno, and it's like Daft Punk. No, but this is like a French, like, acoustic techno. They, like, do really weird stuff, but it's, like, it's actually good. Like, they don't do, like, only repetitive things and, like, completely unoriginal, like, hi-hat, snare, and, like, super, super deep bass. Like, on the drum modules. Like, C2C is actually a good group, I would say. Like, I like it. They're very unique in their sound.
Shucks, man. Trying to adjust my microphone. There we go.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know, really. I don't know. Whatever.
You don't have anybody you just kind of like, oh, this person sticks out to me at all?
What do you mean?
Isn't historical figures back to the topic?
Oh, yeah.
Back to that thing
It's
from
like,
like
wait,
15
what are you
minutes
talking
ago.
about? The only thing that really comes to mind is not a specific person, but a specific type of person.
Okay.
And that's, like, Native American, like, a chief of a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did they trust the white man? Like, bad, but I mean, like, even, like, as, like,
Nobody will ever hear
far
that.
before Mr. Columbus came over and started killing people. Because
Why did they take the blankets?
gosh, shut up.
Yeah, they were a little chilly.
SARS, get some diseases.
Anywho,
Wait, no, that's a disease originating from Eastern Asia.
smallpox.
Smallpox. That was the thing. No, because I'm very interested in this idea of, like, sustainability and, like, only using what you need. It's very, like, a minimalistic kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the old Indian tribes were, like, experts at how to do that. Like, they would only plant corn here one year, and then they'd plant something else there the next year. So they'd, like, they'd recycle their nutrients, and they would, I don't know, they like these cycles of, like, how things decay but add life back while they're decaying.
Horticulture as opposed to monoculture.
Yes, exactly. And that idea is very interesting to me. And that was, like, the only time that it's ever successfully and thoroughly been like implemented in life. It seems like, like even dating back to like Middle Ages and stuff, it seemed like it was intensely even back when we were like the what is it agrarian, is that the word, agrarian society, where he basically was just growing as the economics even back then it seemed like it was still like this caste system where it was like the lowest would grow in very intensely and give the food up and like keep growing more and more and more and give it and there was no like, I don't know. And then even I heard a lot of some of the things that I've read about that old like the Native American culture back then. People only ate when they were hungry, so not like kind of, oh, I'm bored and there's food here, I'm gonna eat, kind of like nowadays, which is totally. I mean, like if it's a thing you like to do, I mean, taste nowadays. I think like interests are very important to pursue. I really enjoy cooking, and I'm very keen on taste. So I like to just kind of cook things randomly, even if I'm not hungry, and just kind of taste it and try to like perfect something. So I mean, like there's a certain level of, it's not bad to do. It's not completely bad how you do it sometimes. But there's that idea of like you eat when you're hungry. If you went out and you hunted and you didn't get anything, and this family over here did, and you were hungry, it's just that food caught there was everybody's food. And I it's very socialistic and communistic, probably closest to, where everything's a community. It was probably the closest thing to communism there's ever been that's actually
Successful
lasted
communism?
and successful. Yeah. And I think that's very interesting because I don't think communism could ever be successful nowadays, at least. And that was about
not nowadays.
No, not nowadays, not at all. Because people have greed and things have become like
Playing the system, they don't want to
standard
do anything.
kind of thing. But yeah, back then it was like care about people and help each other out, and we're all in this together kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, granted, there were like the wars between tribes, and there was still a lot of the bad things that occur today happening then. Just maybe there was a different attitude among your own group of people. Like imagine if you were to bump into somebody right down the road here, somebody from your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they would just be like, "Whoa, what's the problem? Why you standing in front of me? Why'd you bump into me?"
Hey, what you gonna do about
do
it?
a crappy Italian American accent here. Why you bump into me? And just like getting a big tiff. Or just, I mean, can you imagine? But I feel like neighborhoods on a small scale are similar. Like we're all in a neighborhood. We all have to work together to keep our neighborhood nice and everything. So it's kind of like a community, right? Where you have to work together. But what are you doing? Are you reverbing me? Okay.
No.
But like how that attitude is just completely not the same nowadays as it used to be. Like the attitude has completely changed between people. How like one person cuts you off on the road and it's immediately that person's a dick and I hope they crash and die.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it's like, imagine if something similar were to happen, or comparable were to happen back then in an Indian tribe, you guys are running after a kill, somebody cuts in front of you, gets it, something, I feel like it wouldn't be like, there wouldn't be that animosity. There'd be like
I think it's
hey, yeah, we got it.
I think it's more because it's a global society now, as opposed to
even-
almost
yeah.
nomadic. Because back then it was like 12 people, and
Mhm.
oh hey, Chief Bob Longtail was, Chief Bob
You're
Longtail
terrible thing.
was
that was
You
good,
have
though.
died of dysentery.
Chief Bob Longtail was just kind of like, he runs in front of you and okay, whatever, we still all get to eat, but it's like that guy cut me off, I could have died. I mean, the scenario's not, apples and oranges.
Well, it's on
but-
both sides. There's look at that opening. I'm gonna quick rush and take it. And
yeah,
like I was driving home from school the other day, and I saw this lady switch lanes, and she had her signal on, and it was rush hour traffic, right? So cars are a little bit closer together than they normally are, but they're also going slower. And there was about 2.5 car lengths worth of space between this car behind her and this car in front of her, both to her side in the next lane. and this guy behind her was allowing her space to get in, and she was like looking over and signaling and going like I could see her in front of me like waving her arms, just pissed, like why aren't you like just he was doing the right thing. So I feel like there's a lot of impatience. I feel like impatience is a lot more common, and prioritizing self wants over other
Community.
wants is a lot more common nowadays than it used to be. I feel like it's kind of gotten out of hand.
So my answer is McCarthy, just because he convinced an entire almost generation of people to just fear communism implicitly, and would just be like, "Oh, he's a communist, get him!" And then they would just pretty much go on a witch hunt after this person, and that
That would be another cool
fascinating.
one. The old Salem witch,
fascinating.
like to live in that old Salem witch hunt era. That
Yeah.
would be really interesting.
I've always wanted to burn a woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that, but I mean to see like what were the circumstances
I'm
that led people
kidding.
to believe like, why would you think that she's doing anything? You know, like I don't know. That just seems kind of interesting.
are a different color. Get her, boys. I don't know, man. I mean,
She took that whiskey drink and poured it on an open cut, and it didn't get infected.
it didn't fester.
She wasted the drink of man on and she used it for healing. Just
What a witch.
disinfected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be kind of interesting to see, with the knowledge that we have nowadays, kind of looking back at
Yeah,
how...
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, seeing how that lack of knowledge influenced decision-making.
Well, it's also like
That's really cool. That's cool to think about.
kind of in the same vein, just in like the wish type of thing. I know for a fact, pretty much, it's
Harry Potter.
Let me tell you what, Harry
Wish
had
Lady Von
the
Quad
nicest
was
hair. Just kind of in the same vein. I know it's not true, but it's just kind of fun to think about the fact that what if like magic was kind of like one of those things where it's like if you believe in it, the more people that believe in it, like the more actually real it becomes. Like if
Mhm.
everyone believes in it, it's actually a real thing.
Like Santa's sleigh can't
Yeah.
fly unless there's Christmas spirit.
right.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just kind of fun to think.
Will
about.
Ferrell
shit,
did
man.
miracles just
Yeah.
getting that sleigh to fly.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
Okay, Zoe Deschanel.
Hey, she was hot.
She's pretty cute.
Anyway, Yvonne.
Katy Perry. What's her name? What are the other ones?
Kim Kardashian.
No, what are all the other ones that look like each other?
I don't
Zoe
know.
Deschanel, Katy
Kate-
Perry, and then there's like 5 others that all look exactly the same.
They're
Yeah.
all me.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember their names.
Those
though.
are the 2 big ones.
No, there's no. I thought it was
There's
just
like
those
4.
Or
Eh.
2.
There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
The girls with the black hair and the bangs and like the odd like inquisitive faces, or almost the confounded faces. That's what I'll put it as.
Anyway,
So
were
who
gonna
do
ask
you
me something?
who do you find
Who do I
interesting?
legitimately find interesting?
Yeah.
Not Hitler.
All right.
I don't know.
See, like it's a weird question. That and it's something that I wouldn't normally think about, especially when you have that stipulation that it's not somebody like completely common or like, you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
like what
yeah.
most people like Gandhi or the
Jesus.
yeah or Jesus or
Jesus.
yeah whatever it would be. Yeah.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Nazareth.
Nazareth. It's actually right next to Azeroth in World of Warcraft.
Oh god.
I don't know if that's accurate because I don't know what Azeroth. I think it's
We're
province.
we're
Maybe it's the
such
entire
nerds.
thing. I don't know. I just work here, man.
We try to be. Why do we try
Like
to
Soul
be more
Calibur?
nerdy than we actually are?
I think just because it's funny.
Azeroth is in Soul Calibur. I know that much.
I don't-
SoCal.
I don't even know. Like
Where are we at?
we're at about 112ish, 113ish.
Nice.
So
Want to keep going?
yeah, why not? I still got more stuff to say.
Yvonne, did you bring a topic?
I did not.
Okay.
You guys want to touch my hair? It's pretty nice. So for those of you who never see,
Okay.
Yvonne has hair about to mid back.
No, it's almost all the way down my back.
Oh, okay. So it's almost all the way down his back. And he uses panties or panties.
Pantene.
Pantene,
No, I
Fruit
use-
Tea, Sleek and Shine.
At one point, he used Pantene.
I use Aussie.
Oh, he uses
At
Aussie.
one
No, I use
point, he
Aussie.
used Pantene.
The last one I used was Vidal Sassoon.
My coworker Ronning.
Hair products.
would use.
Sponsor me, man.
I don't know what he used. He said it was yellow and from Walmart, but his hair always smelled like the best fruit in the world. I'm just like, oh my god, I
He
love
doesn't
working
even
with you.
know what hair products. That's terrible.
You see, you're thinking Ronnie gives a crap. Ronnie
Mm.
doesn't care about anything. He doesn't even care enough to get his license or his permit.
Or
for
move
that
out
matter.
of his parents' bed or his mom's basement.
No, his mom's other bedroom in their apartment
Oh, there you go.
because
His mom doesn't even care to get a basement. So it runs in the family.
not caring runs with the family. They just never bothered to track it. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I love that kid, but he just all the time he's so depressed. He doesn't work on going anywhere or doing anything with his life. He's like, well, by the time I get home, I'm always tired. I'm like, that's because you stay up till 5 a.m. doing nothing.
That
Come
sounds
on.
a lot like your ex. When she broke or when you broke up with her. I almost said when she broke up with you. I was like, wait a minute. No.
Reverse other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, except she doesn't do that anymore. So, but I mean, that's an entirely different story. That's a personal story. I'm actually gonna leave off the old cast.
Yeah.
Well,
Not gonna cast that line.
Guys are different social system.
Not gonna do that.
Social status is
Not gonna
almost like
tell
a
that
caste
fishtail.
system.
all right, let's go back to Bob Longtail or something. Oh,
No,
I
it's
get
Chief
it. I
Bob
get
Longtail.
it. Yeah, Chief Bob Longtail.
Not gonna do anything with that
He was
fishtail.
number one. No, I got you. Because you cast out and catch the fish. Yeah. So anyway,
It's funny because I don't like the other
What are you
ones.
making a movie?
there we go. That's
You need a
yeah,
cast.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Go
'cause
up,
Alright,
Bert,
we're-
don't break a leg,
So anyway,
because then you need a cast.
I think we want to go on, but we're just running
I
empty.
just- I
Miles isn't here. Stop.
Great.
Gent.
Okay, it kind of. I'm gonna be a music snob really quick. One of the podcasts I listen to, the Game Over Greggy show.
He's wrong.
Colin says degent. It's not gent. It's degent.
Who
Which-
said it?
Colin Moriarty. He works at IGN, and he's on the Game Over Greggy podcast to listen to.
Okay, so he's wrong.
Yeah, he's wrong.
He's
Completely
very wrong.
He's one of those guys. He's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and
Wait, is this guy like into music and deals with music stuff?
no, he's at IGN. He's just a games reviewer. He's
Okay.
he likes his music. I don't know. He talked about a couple of bands.
Well, I guess I was
fair bit.
like outside of
Like 311.
and I was wondering like, is he musically oriented or inclined?
he plays a mean acoustic guitar that no one's ever heard other than his roommate.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and it's like I get it, in the same vein, it can be degent, but
That's not the sound it makes.
I know, and it's I don't say knowledge good knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The term gent comes from the sound it makes. It comes from because the origin of the genre is really stupid. I think I love it. It's what I love to listen to. But the
Right.
origin,
Destiny Potato all the way.
yeah, it's great. But what
He
it
was
yeah,
trash
I heard.
talking
It's not my
I-
favorite thing.
I heard. It's okay. It's better than somebody liking load and reload.
Yeah, no kidding.
But the
What a
origin,
cunt.
what it is,
No, I mean,
it came from the practice of putting your muting hand farther up closer to the
Right.
pickups than
Yeah.
usual, and the sound that it makes is gent.
Yeah.
If you do one pick, you don't get the sound degent.
I
If
know.
you do one downstroke, you don't make two fucking sounds.
I mean, you don't.
Idiot.
Because you're not good enough yet.
Whoever
you've
that
never
guy,
done it.
whoever that guy said,
Colin Moriarty IGN.
idiot.
Tweet him at no taxation.
What about taxation?
He's
Do you need some info?
he's-
I got your back, boy.
no, his Twitter handle is at no taxation.
No taxation.
He's a very
Is he like
political guy.
offshore or something? Is he not?
No, he's in California, but like
Really?
he's very
How's he avoiding tax?
No.
tax.
no he it's
Tea
like
Party.
as in no taxation without representation
Oh,
is what it stands for.
oh,
Because he's a
What an
huge
idiot.
political guy.
what an idiot! What an idiot! Taxes are very important.
Taxes are super.
No, I know,
You
but
know
we
what?
all but we
Somebody
also have
was-
representation. He's just an American history major, and that's why he did that.
Yeah, we'll screw him.
You're right.
Yeah. All of you fans of whatever that guy's
Sorry,
name is,
Colin.
you are welcome to not watch our podcast anymore or listen to our podcast.
But I am a fan of that guy. I like him.
Dan,
Don't
don't
listen
ever
to
listen to. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't listen to the podcast, so no more post. No more post. You
So
can't
that-
produce this anymore.
that
No more
brings up
editing.
No, we have to record it live. Say you can't, and then give me the headphones.
Get out of here. No, there's that reminds me of like at school, I was chatting with an economics. Did you just reverb me? What did you
A
do?
little
Dan?
bit, yeah. I give
You
you
reverbed me. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give us all a little bit of reverb. All right.
I think you should just put us back to normal levels.
No, this is great.
Okay. So
It's working for you.
Twerking for me.
Getting your goose in the good way.
What?
I heard
so
there's like some commercial going on now. There's like saying all the different ways. There's like, or I forget all like the different things they say, but they're the one that always gets me every time. Gets your goose in the good way. It's just like, who says that? I've never heard that before.
they're stupid.
I thought about Mark, our boss, for the first time in a long time.
I talked to him today.
Nice.
He's a fantastic man.
Anyway.
So yeah, I was talking to an economics guy, and he was going on and on about how taxes are stupid, and there's like, can't you see? There's all this information about how taxes are terrible, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, sure, there's misuse of tax,
Yeah.
but let me tell you what, not having a government to keep things in check is a bad thing. That would like literally lead to a downfall of society.
Yeah, anarchy.
That being said, sure, there's a lot of malpractice up there in the
Yeah.
government sector. Sure,
Of course.
government's bad. Some governments are like have bad practices. Government as a thing is not bad.
Right.
Taxes sure can have a lot of misuse.
They can
Taxes
also
as a
good use.
thing are necessary because you say you have 40 or 50 kids, sure, and you have to keep track of them. Okay?
I can't get past 3 names.
Okay?
Dan, Aaron, and Charlie.
And say by kids I mean like put them right around anywhere between 10 and 13. And so you have to keep everybody happy and in check and make sure that nobody's doing bad stuff. And so you have to have all these rules in order to keep everybody happy, right? Like there's literally like you can't keep everybody happy because one kid's gonna say like, "Oh, that's a cool lunch you have. I'm gonna take it." And the other person's not going to be happy, and your job as a overseer of these children is to be happy, okay? Or is to make these people happy. And in order to do that, you have to have rules. And in order to impose rules and upkeep things, you need resources. And in order to get resources, especially in today's society, everything is money-driven because money is a good medium of value to transfer between two people to, like, in exchange of goods.
Right.
So I say, hey, think about the kids scenario, and then think about, say you were in charge of keeping people happy, okay, of a society. Government is very important. And so he conceded that point. She's like, sure, government's good. And so I understand that a good government is not the same as government being good, or like government being a necessary thing. So he conceded that point to me. And then it was like, okay, how are you going to do it? Are you going to like work a second job to like try to raise money to... No, taxes like are a thing you need.
Yeah.
And so I think people, that being said, the point of my story is people who think that taxes are dumb are wrong. Sure, people who write the tax laws are stupid because it's like lawyers writing things in regards to finance and accounting. And again, it's all the politics. Like, I'm just going to make up laws so that I can get elected. That's kind of nowadays. So there's a
Right.
lot of just stupid decisions, sure, but taxes are still important.
Taxes are good.
My first thing to go to is always just like, okay, well, enjoy
Yeah.
your free school.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, there are all alternatives. You can get money from local municipalities, but then, you know, cost for parking or cost for
Mhm.
your utilities goes up, or, you know, stuff like that. All of a sudden you have all these peripheral costs you never thought about they had to pay, and then it's like, oh, we can have companies, you know, pay for that. Okay, they foot
Mhm.
the bill, and then all of a sudden, congratulations, your son's being fed every day Coca-Cola and Pizza Hut for
Yep.
lunch, and it's
Yep.
just like, or even better, like, okay, yeah, we've had this great time. Now let's all bow our heads and pray to Allah, you know. And it's like, you know, not saying religious schools are bad; they're totally
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm.
But if you don't agree with a religion, it's the only one near you,
Mhm.
you're SOL.
Yeah.
And so it's like, the system's not perfect by any stretch
No,
of the
not at all.
imagination. It's not perfect.
And we have a stupid government that's pouring money into like a defense budget and cutting education budgets.
right.
So like,
That's the problem that I have with things.
Yeah.
Like, The way that I've always kind of looked at it is I'm happy to pay my taxes.
Mhm.
I'm happy
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
it.
for
I'm
sure.
happy to see it come out of my paycheck
Yeah.
because I know that it's a very small portion of the amount that they're actually getting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going into building.
like a 70% you get back.
But I mean,
Yeah.
and plus I don't make very much.
Yeah.
And so I'm losing like $10 a paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
which will probably mostly come back
Yeah.
to me. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm not putting much, but I'm glad to see it go because that's going into my roads.
Yeah.
That's going into my emergency services.
Yeah, except for our
firefighters.
infrastructure is garbage.
Yeah. But that's
Which is-
because
But
we
it's
think
going-
in terms of the short-term dollar cost as opposed to the long-term
Yeah,
dollar cost.
exactly.
But then there's
It's-
people who don't have taxes or anything, and they don't have roads.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we have these things are great.
Yes, fantastic.
The things that I'm mad about when it comes to taxes is I'm sure there is mismanagement, like you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm most angry about the allocation of where we
Allocation for sure. That's where I
is
have an
where
issue.
I get really
Yeah.
frustrated about it because I remember I did a paper on it at my university before.
Mm-hmm.
We had to come up with a proposal and say
Mhm.
what we wanted to do. And my proposal was I wanted to make education free in America.
Mm-hmm.
Even higher education?
I wanted to make universities
Okay.
free
Yeah.
for students.
Like in
That was
Germany.
my
Like in
proposal.
Germany,
Denmark
literally.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany's known for having like the smartest, crazy engineering nut job population.
Yeah.
And
this
that's
is-
because they subsidize education.
And this
Yeah,
is where I
Just
got with it.
completely.
I ended up putting it into an argument that would still, I felt, appease people. Because if we were to take 1/3, I think, of our defense or war budget,
Mm-hmm.
we'd still have a war budget 2 times the size of anybody else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We are bigger than the next 8 people combined. The next 8 countries combined.
for sure.
I think
And
it was either take 1/3 or take a half of it. I said we should take a large chunk of it, and that would be more than enough to fund students around the country.
Yeah, for sure.
At
And-
least provide a lot more than we do now,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd still have an army
Yep.
massive compared to anybody
And then
else in the
there's
world.
things that I don't agree with, like tax
And then we could
credits
sti- and
to a
then we
lot
could-
of bad, like
And then we could put money towards like NASA and stuff.
Yeah.
which I feel is important.
yeah,
I really.
I'll-
enjoy
the
NASA.
I will
education and
agree.
learning and research
Yeah.
I think is super important.
Yeah, but I want to first fix like I agree with that, but I also first want to fix like the problems of poverty. And yes, there are some.
That's
people,
it, Dan. Dan, you have to have the caste system. We're not friends anymore. The poor have to be. No, I'm just kidding, Dan.
Who is gonna? You can't
Quit
pay a
making
janitor
Quit making this
$100,000 a year.
podcast all political. Jeez.
No, but like, and the one inherent thing, like, I am for cutting the budget of the military, but
To a certain extent. But,
there's also a huge like, yeah. I mean, I'm not just like, okay, military, goodbye.
Mhm.
But there's also a huge like, there are a lot of people who work in that department in terms of R&D and production and testing,
Mhm.
and it's like that'd be a lot of jobs to get rid of. But again, it goes back to the whole thing in the long term versus the short term.
Well, yeah, but there's also a lot of resources that are not being used by the military. Like we have
Right.
a lot of
no, I understand that, but
multi-million-dollar jets and tanks and
Right.
weapons and all sorts of crap that's not even being touched because there's so much. From what I've heard,
right, but it's also like,
to the best of my knowledge, so do not quote me on that, people who are listening.
yeah, people are gonna use this for academic research
Yeah,
papers.
no kidding.
But it's like, yes, it right now it'd suck for jobs. In the future, it'd be
It'd be
a lot better.
fantastic, yeah.
You get more money in your paycheck. All of a sudden, the GDP starts increasing a little bit
Mhm.
because you have more to spend. There's more products that need to be replaced. Anyway, and
And
even
then
in
you'd
the,
even have higher trained
yeah,
people for your military.
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
could have people who could do a lot more for you.
and even then, it's like when you have people, we have such a debt right now, and yes, debt as is isn't good, but it isn't inherently bad either. Oh, we have a debt right now. Yes, we have debt right now because we're putting a little bit more money into X, Y, and Z. So in the future, we can have 3, 4, 5 years with more of a surplus than if we were to take a little bit of surplus now and have to go into debt to rebuild that thing again later and have 1 year surplus and the rest be balanced budget. It's like you need to. It's not inherently bad, but it's like if the cost now is lesser than the payoff in the future, do it. I don't know. People just they instantaneously just this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good. It's like, well, do you know anything about it? Oh no. Well then shut your
Yeah,
mouth.
then
This is
shut
the
up.
This is the podcast now
Yeah.
saying how bad Americans are.
Yeah.
We hate you all.
And one
We
of the
hate
things
us.
one of the things that I'm very upset about in terms of people's political views is gun control, I would consider myself a fairly middle ground kind of person in terms of social aspects. I side with the heavy Republican, super conservative aspect of guns, right?
Yeah, me too.
The first thing that Hitler did or one of the first things that he did in Germany was make everybody like
Give up their guns.
give up their guns or keep track and record of it, and it just makes it easier to take away. One, two, you look at I know there's I can't remember if it's a county or a city in Alabama or maybe it's Mississippi, I can't remember, but it's one of those Bible Belt states down there.
Yeah.
So first off, super conservative, and sure, there's a lot of stuff down there that I disagree with, but
Like alligators.
there's this one city, where there's like almost no regulations on like guns, and of course there's like, when I say almost none, I mean like very, very severely less compared to
anywhere else.
Yeah. And their crime rate's like super, super low. You're not gonna you're not gonna break into a house when you know that everybody in the city has a gun. And that's the same in Sweden, I think. Everybody, or is it Sweden?
I feel like it is
Where
Sweden.
everybody-
It's Norway. It's Norway.
Norway. Everybody is like mandatory has a gun.
That's because they have to have 1 year or no 2 years automatic service, or maybe it's 5 years.
Yeah, like
And they
in
take
case.
their gun home.
Yes, yeah. So everybody has a gun, and their crime rate's like nearly zero. So like, there's a certain level of, as long as we teach people that like, you don't do stupid stuff with that. Like, this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
As long as you know that, sure, go ahead,
Uh,
have one, have 7.
Two things.
Have a shotgun and a couple rifles and pistols galore all over your wall. Sure,
Two things I'll say. One,
but
if the first thing you do to counteract the whole gun stigma thing, your kids want to talk or see your gun, stop everything you're doing, show them the gun, so that when it's not a big deal to them, they're like, oh yeah, my dad has guns. And when their friend comes over, oh well, let's see it. Okay, I'll ask my dad. No, let's see it without him. No, we don't see the gun without my dad. Or they're like, oh yeah, that's a gun. I have to be careful with that. You know, it's familiarity. It's not just, oh look, that's a gun. I wonder what this does. It's like, no, it's
seriously, that
you
education,
understand.
for sure.
The other thing is, and while I'm on the same side as you, I'll also say correlation is not equal causation. You of all people know that. So yes, Norway, that statistic is really strong correlation. The Mississippi or Alabama, the Southern Belt one, not so sure about. I don't have all the information on it, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like the statistics are the surrounding areas that don't have the gun regulation have much higher crime rates.
Right, but it could also be said, okay, well, is that because the people can afford the guns?
No,
and because they're wealthier?
One determining factor
apparently
apparently the one, like the only basically difference between the surrounding cities and the one city is or counties or whatever it is the gun regulation.
Areas.
Yeah.
All right.
So like median income and everything is roughly right about the same. So it's not really like a cost kind of thing.
Yeah, I was just throwing out an idea.
Poor people have guns, so I feel like cost is not necessarily like the number one factor in whether or not you get a gun. Because if you're defensive, if you're like scared for your life, you'll find a way to get a gun, regardless of how much money you have.
Which, like, also for those of you who are stalking me right now, as we give away all my information, I've got a baseball bat in the front of the in the closet.
Yvonne just got scared. Puppy jumping up on the door.
Yvonne getting scared.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Just like in the
Shut
Hunger
up.
Games when the dog jumped out.
You weren't even there.
Maria told me about it.
You
weren't even there.
I'm the complete opposite of you two
Yeah.
when it comes to guns.
Mm-hmm.
I despise guns
Yeah.
with my entire passion.
I feel like if you don't like them, you don't have to have them. You don't have to like them. But there's still no reason to like regulate it as long as we have like the stipulation of much more education and.
Come on, Dan. Let's go circle jerk without Yvonne.
Yeah, let's go shoot our pistols up into the air without him.
Well, here's the opinion that I've always kind of had about guns:
Mm-hmm.
is there's only one thing they're good for,
Yeah.
and I do not
What
like
is
that.
it good for?
Well, yeah, that's
There's
true.
only one
That's the
thing that it can be used for.
Yeah, but here's the deal: as long as it's used, as long as that one use is used in one type of situation defensively, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Now, I know this is a flawed argument, but I want to make it because it's kind of humorous anyway. There's only one use for cars. Getting from destination A to B.
Telephone is going off. I'm gonna answer it.
All right.
Hello?
This will be interesting.
Hello? Yes. Sure. Yep. Oh, ready. Awesome. Cool.
Dan's Ford Ranger's ready to go.
Okay. You know what? Tomorrow works for me. I can pick it up tomorrow morning. Does that work? Awesome. Thank you
Doing
very
the
much.
podcast.
This is
All right. I
interesting.
appreciate it. Yep. Bye now.
Great. But anyway, this is gonna be a flawed argument, I know, but it's humorous. I only use my car for transportation, getting from here to Target
Mm-hmm.
to Cub Foods.
I could
to
run
home.
people over, Yvonne.
Yeah, they just happen to be on the road during my transportation.
There's one thing cars are good for, and it's getting you from point A to point B. If
Am-
somebody's in your way.
Even better. Point B, his body. I don't stop. till-
Yeah. But see, like, use.
I understand that point, but the point,
Again, it's a
The-
flawed argument. It's a
yeah.
very flawed argument, but it's humorous.
Yeah.
because like there's other things that you can use that do the same things as a
Yeah,
gun that
yeah.
are a lot less dangerous
Yeah.
or have a specific other purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one
there's
that I
a
always
lot.
come to is the knife.
Mm-hmm.
Is you can use a knife to kill somebody, but
Yeah.
it's more common to use a knife for
Skinning
in
an
the kitchen.
animal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
Skinny.
sure. It's more common to use a knife in a
You're
kitchen.
an animal.
It's more common to use
It
the knife
puts
in
the
the kitchen.
lotion on its skin.
Rusty gets those again.
But the only thing you're gonna do with
Hey,
a gun
Batman.
is shoot and kill something, whether that's an
Honestly.
animal.
Hey, well,
Not
yeah, I was gonna
necessarily.
say.
Sporting clays are not animals,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that they're pigeons, clay pigeons, as well as basic just target practice, competition shooting, and yeah, you can go hunting, you can home defense.
So I feel like the issue
They also
here is
make
not
really nice-
necessarily.
It's more of a destructive thing than a
Not
constructive thing.
necessarily.
So are cannonballs.
See, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, see,
that's the
here's
same. That's the same concept.
There's no gunpowder
Not
in a
only
cannonball.
Not if you only eat.
It's the same concept.
I know.
Anyway, I feel like,
And the car argument is just
I know. I told you it wasn't good.
but it brings up a valid point that the principle is the same across. Like it's the same principle.
Yeah.
Sure, it can be used for that, like for destructive purposes, but it can also be used for very constructive purposes, like sustaining your life if something was about to try and take it, or you can get food by getting an animal. And so again,
Yeah,
I agree with you that sure there's a lot of misuse, but I think the issue doesn't necessarily lie with the guns; it lies with the people. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot more. There's a huge lack of teaching what's good. I'm big into ethics, and I think that there's a huge lack of ethics being taught
Yeah.
in like any situation or education system.
Right.
Like I mean, you could take it in colleges, but I mean, I feel like there's a reason why philosophy departments are not very huge in most colleges. I feel like
It's mostly just because, and this is the honest, there's not a whole lot of job opportunities. Like hospitals is more, hospital and teacher or slash professors, two of the main ones.
youth. There's a lot of like youth ministry and nonprofit stuff you can do with it, and right. Well, like you said with
Professionalism.
Excuse me. Kind of like you said with hospitals, like the ethicist boards. Or like I assume that's where you meant with it with philosophy.
You hit the nail on the head.
Ethics boards. Almost all big, like large. When I say large, I mean like Fortune 500 companies, and even probably you can even say like Fortune 750, Fortune 1000 companies probably have an ethics board.
Fortune 420, please. To blue.
Okay, Ray. No, I think I'm pretty sure I've heard that most of those things, and they work a lot with their HR department and their lawyer department, or like whatever their law legal. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. Legal department. Ethicists and ethics boards are very important in a lot of huge companies like that, from what I've heard.
But anyway, continue with your main point.
We should teach good
Versus bad.
and like things like valuing human life, right? Sure, somebody may be bad, but life is a good thing.
There's also there's also the problem though that arises is that some of them are just like they're just almost not realistic in their views, because on both sides of a lot of
Like
arguments.
Yvonne.
Yeah.
Not
Seriously.
realistic.
Not taking my guns
Yeah,
away.
no, I'm just kidding, dude.
Shoot you before that happens.
I shoot you if you try to take my guns away.
Got trip mine out back near the.
Did
near
you
the
vote
shed.
for Obama? You're trying to take our guns away, Yvonne?
No more
I'm
22
just kidding,
ammo.
by the way. I am just kidding.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, no, I know that. But I was just kidding. Like,
I wrote myself in.
I think
I
wrote
obviously didn't get there.
I think I wrote Ron Paul in.
Anyway, but
that
Lord,
matters.
what was I gonna say?
Not gonna win.
Something
We're
about
just-
guns. Something about teaching human life, value.
Yeah.
Good.
So the thing with the ethics though, is that whilst it's good, it is good to teach ethics. At the same time, there's also the contradictory ones. Like there are just
Like
there-
Hobbesian, like might is power, like might is right. Like,
right. Well,
yeah,
even
but that's easily disproven.
there are really good arguments on both sides, despite
And
whatever-
perfect arguments in Aristotelian philosophy. So, I mean, virtue ethics and Aristotle is
How about you shut up for a second?
the right ethics.
Shut up.
Sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, but there are very good arguments on either
Greek
side.
philosophy.
I'm gonna turn your gain down.
He's killing my Nobody can hear me.
Anyway, we can probably still hear you. Just
guys. I'm talking. Sorry.
one of the there are, despite whatever you may think, whatever your predispositions are, there are good arguments on either side of the abortion or no abortion argument. There are really good ones. There are really good ones on the abortion side too, though, and that all depends on what you see. It has a lot to depend on predisposition.
I feel like
You're not on. You're not on. Let me finish. Let me finish. At the same time, there are some unrealistic ones, such as where Peter Singer has the argument that everybody should devote or should whatever you make over $30,000 a year should be donated to charity regardless. Period, because that is the Singer solution to end world poverty. And it's like that just isn't a viable option because people aren't going to do that. Peter Singer himself doesn't do that. So if you're not listening to your own ethics, why should we
Am I
listen to your
back?
ethics? Yeah, you're back.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't really like Peter Singer.
No. Peter Singer doesn't like
All
Peter
about
Singer.
that infanticide.
Yeah, seriously. Which is like this.
Here we are,
It's
but
the
this is
super
turned
pack
into
of
like
abortions.
ethics. This has turned into like philosophy.
The
and
ethics
politics.
cast.
It was what, number 2? We did this as well.
I think it was 2 or 3. Yeah.
I think it
my
was
first
2.
one.
Yeah, so it was the
So
second
2.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was funny. I like this. This is intriguing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, ethics should be taught, but I think every point of ethics should be taught. Other
Yeah,
than
for
the
sure.
ones
Oh,
that,
yeah, for sure.
Other than the ones that
Yeah.
are like full of holes, where it's just like, well,
yeah.
you
And you
really
gotta
should.
point out the deficiencies and the good
strong
things
points.
about every single one of them.
Right.
It
And then
it just so happens that like Hobbesian, like the might is right kind of thing, which basically justifies. Apparently, I found this out. One of my professors, and of course, take everything with a grain of salt because one person told me this, and that's about how much. But it's another piece of information, right? He said that a lot of the schools where politicians come out of, like what's a good one, like Yale,
Harvard.
and like
Harvard
a lot
Law.
of these teach like Hobbesian ethics as kind of like in the natural state of nature, there are no rules, and it's good to like keeping yourself alive is what matters. So if killing is what you have to do, then killing's just fine. And like the whole thing is whoever has the most power is the one who's in charge, and that's what defines what's good and bad and justice and stuff like that, is depending on who's. So basically, like I said, might is right is kind of what sums up Hobbesian theory, and apparently that is still from, again, one source, is still taught kind of as like the standard, especially to like people who go into politics, which is kind of why you see like the USA pouring so much into military,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to like keep everybody in check, and trying again the whole police state, like they can do whatever they want. They're the ones with power, so it's good. Or that's kind of the mentality. it just so happens that Hobbesian theory seems to have the most potholes and the most like flaws in its arguments.
Right.
And utilitarianism, again, like Peter Singer's, I mean, it's got its issues.
Sounds nice on paper.
It sounds
but
nice on paper.
If anything,
but again,
not morally required, maybe morally admirable.
morally admirable for sure. Yes, yeah. That's a good point. Aristotelian.
What? Hold on.
Virtue ethics as a whole, not necessarily Aristotelian. I'm just a diehard Aristotelian.
I want to take this
Virtue ethics-
moment to appreciate the fact that Dan Lewis said I was actually not stupid for a second.
No, I see you're not stupid all the time. I just happen to say you're stupid a lot. Just not all the time. I just also concede that you can say good things every once in a while. But
I'm a monkey with a typewriter.
Virtue ethics, regardless of who it is, kind of disproves utilitarianism.
Isn't virtue
as a
ethics
whole.
the doctrine of the mean, the Socrates?
Well, I look at the okay, I'll give you a brief virtue ethics
I
crash course.
do as a virtuous man would do.
We as people can understand what something good is. Take a knife, right? When is a knife good?
When I'm chopping them dirty onions.
And what does it need? So when it cuts well, when it does its function.
Yeah.
Right? This idea of whatever the function is, if it can do that job well, it's good. That's what's good. So the virtue of a knife in order to do its job well is sharpness. So what we should pursue are these virtues that help us do well and be good. So do well at our function.
Right.
It just gets confusing because we're people and we have these aspects of emotions and knowledge and aptitudes. Like some people are better at music and some people are better with numbers. Some people are better with visual arts and some people are better at like building things. And so that there's a lot, and we have certain function like, oh gosh, what's the term, like mandatory functions in our body. We have to eat. We have to nourish ourselves.
Right.
So certain things like we have to do well at this, but if we're hungry, we still have to focus on that because we're human. And Aristotelian virtue ethics specifically points at gaining knowledge or trying to learn and continually like improve through knowledge and doing well is kind of what our function as humans is to kind of keep learning and keep like improving and doing well. And that's what makes us good. So it's just kind of what are the virtues or what are the things and characteristics that we have to have in order to keep learning and to keep also helping other people learn and do well. So there's like virtues of there's what's the term I've heard before, like the romanticized medieval. There's like the romance, the knight in shining armor, the selflessness. There's like generosity and love and compassion and things like that are all considered virtues because, again, to continue to know things, you have to understand other people's perspectives, to have other people's perspectives. Other people have to be, and you also, like, there's a part of it where there's a part of the aspect where we're naturally societal creatures. Like, we're all drawn together. Things like hermits, where people just and reclusive people who just kind of don't live with other people around, is very rare. And so we view that as kind of like, wow, that's really weird. Somebody who just kind of live by themselves alone for 40 years out in the wilderness. And just, like, it's a super foreign concept to us because we're societally driven.
Right.
So because there's a society aspect, we also have, like, what we do well, we have to do well in relation to other people.
Right.
So there's a, and that's why I'm such a diehard Aristotelian, is because like this pursuit of knowledge, I want to learn how to do whatever I have to do in life or whatever comes my way well. I want to learn how to do it well. But there's another aspect of that where sharing knowledge is good because it helps other people, and since like when you think about bottlenecks in a business. There's this one part in a process that slows us down. You're only as, what is the term, or the phrase, you're only as strong as your weakest player. So in society, if we have one super smart person who perfectly achieves this extensive, vast knowledge, you're living amongst people who don't know, so it kind of doesn't allow you to reach doing well. So there's a lot of aspect of help others do well, and so that there's just a lot of that going around. I like it because there's learning generosity, and just it's generally common, like what seems commonsensical, like don't be a dick. You know, you can probably find that somewhere in the generosity situational analysis kind of thing.
Thou shalt not be a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Or probably in Greek though.
That thou shalt not commit dickery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a gun is a good gun if it can do its function well, shoot bullets and kill things.
Things that are deemed necessary to kill, I'd say.
Yeah. So a gun is a good gun if it can kill. A person is a bad person if it uses something in a so that at that point you're not allowing somebody to do well.
Yeah.
The only
So that's why I stand on
the only gun control thing I have trouble deciding on where I stand on is the whole. Well, does it require background checks or mental health checks? And I've
mental health checks for sure. I think mental health checks is.
I've heard good arguments
for
for both sides of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's so easy to get a hold of a gun, even if you don't, even if you don't even have to take a check. If you go to a gun show, you can just buy a gun off anyone on Craigslist, anywhere. You don't. There's nothing.
No kidding. Yeah.
It's just like.
But you can't legally own it in quotes, without.
Right.
The licensure or whatever whatever the certification is.
I know, but legality has something to do with morality.
Yeah, no, I for sure. Which is why I wish legality would be more inclined towards ethics and morality. The what's good should be what's enforced.
Right, but first we have to worry about him taking our guns.
Mm-hmm. That crazy Hitler Obama's taking our guns, Yvonne. What do you think about
that? Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
What's that?
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. Whoa, thanks, Obama.
I'm going to call the show. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we're going to call it? We're done?
The one thing I just want to say.
2 hours in, just like 10 minutes under or something.
One thing I just want to say.
Yeah.
Nope.
Is that, fine.
See ya. All right, go ahead.
It
I
fits
thought
into
you
the-
were really going to cut out right there.
That'd be fantastic.
It fits into the category of what you were speaking about before about desires being practical or not.
Yeah.
And I know what I want will never be right. And I know that I'm not, what my opinion isn't
Wrong.
necessarily what's right.
But there's a certain level
But
again
what I know, but
in human nature where like you have to kind of feed the interests and desires.
Yeah.
Again, which is why I like virtue ethics because there's that thing. We have these
Humanity.
inclinations. We sort of have to
but the thing
feed it to its
the way that
extent.
with the logic that I apply towards guns and weapons and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's in my opinion just better to not have them exist. Without the existence of guns, we wouldn't have the problems that we have with them. The closest we would have is a bow and arrow.
But
if you're
also,
going to
when you
shoot
think
somebody with a bow and
okay,
arrow,
okay. Again, and the only thing I'll point out with that issue is if we also had a lack of people thinking bad things are good things, we would also have no problems that we have today. So
I
again,
understand.
the principle's the same. So
I understand, but
that's where it gets confusing, and I'll agree with you there. It gets kind of dicey.
to me, the gun is the problem. I understand that the person is the problem for using the gun in that way,
Mm-hmm.
but the gun is still a tool available to them to act in that way.
So's a knife, a
I know.
sword, a car.
But all
A pen. You
yeah.
can stab somebody with a pen.
Stabbed with a penknife in the back, Bob Dylan.
You ever seen Born Identity?
Yeah.
Is that where he stabs the person? Okay.
I don't know which one.
That one. Yeah.
I just don't like guns.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
and that's a fair point. You don't have to like guns.
If guns weren't a
But-
thing, Matt Damon wouldn't have shot Leo DiCaprio. No, it's not Matt Damon. It's the other guy. I don't even know his name.
No, it is Matt Damon.
No, because Leo DiCaprio has Matt Damon in custody, and then the partner shoots.
What movie are we
Oh,
talking
the
about?
black dude from
Departed.
Kangaroo Jack.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Shoots him
Or
right in
is
the
it
face.
is it that guy? No, I don't even think it's that guy. I think it's like the other inside, the mole inside of
Oh yeah,
police.
the other mole. The other
mole.
Spoilers.
The Departed.
He's like 10 years old.
I
You've
know.
seen it.
I know, but for people who haven't,
The movie's so old.
I didn't see it until you and I watched it.
Who are you?
I'm the guy that does the job.
What?
You must be the other guy.
Yeah.
All right. So,
We're done. Bye.
Facebook.com/Mediocre Studios. Twitter.com/Mediocre Studios, singular. If you want, I'mRaising.com/Mediocre Studios. pretty soon, in a couple of months' time, when we hit about 15 episodes, we're going to go on iTunes. So we'd really appreciate when we roll that out. We'll let you know on the social media. But we'd really appreciate if you just gave us a rating, a review. Just let them know what you think. Yvonne, don't deep throat the microphone. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Can I add something really quick?
YouTube.com/Mediocre Studios. Go for it.
I like people and I like chatting. As I don't know if you can tell through this fantastical podcast we have here.
Want to guest.
If you like our pages like that and you find me and or us through that, I am totally down to have people as friends
Through
and
that channel, yeah.
Chad into Chad.
Fucking
Popped
hate
collars
Chad.
and spray tan and bleached hair. No,
Frosted
and
Tips.
chat. That's what I meant.
Chat.
If you ever
Chaps.
find this, Chad, I hate you. I seriously hate you. No, because there's a guy I know whose name is Chad, and I tell him I hate him every time I see him.
Do you really hate him though?
Fuck you, Chad.
Do you really hate him? Just curious. No.
We love you guys. If we appreciate any ratings, any feedback, share the show with your friends if you want. Let us know
Even
what
if you
want
don't
to-
like us and you just want to talk and yell at us,
yeah,
Go
we're-
for it.
Tell
we're
me
It'd
why
be
I'm wrong
fun.
about guns.
Tell us what you want to hear. We appreciate it.
tell us why we're right about guns. Bye.
Bye.